It was just after 4 p.m. when the sun cast long golden rays over the quiet neighborhood. Kids were out riding bikes. The air was filled with the distant sound of laughter, and everything felt safe, until it wasn't. On the corner of Maple and 6th lived a little girl named Ellie. She was 6 years old, full of life, and had a smile that could melt the coldest heart. Her best friend in the whole world wasn't a classmate or neighbor. It was her dog, Max. A German shepherd with intelligent eyes and a protective heart, Max had been with Ellie since she was born. Where Ellie went, Max followed. That day, Ellie was playing in the front yard, hopping between chalk drawings on the sidewalk. Max lay on the porch, his ears perked, always alert. Ellie's mom, Sarah, was just inside, folding laundry, the screen door creaking gently in the breeze. Then it happened. A loud screech of tires. A man yelling. 2 gunshots, sharp, fast, terrifying. Then silence. Sarah dropped everything and ran to the door. Ellie. She saw her daughter standing frozen by the gate, a man in a hoodie yelling at someone across the street. His hand held a silver gun that glinted in the sun. Her heart dropped. She screamed Ellie's name. The world slowed down. From the porch, Max was already airborne. No hesitation. No fear. Just pure instinct. He barreled down the steps, a blur of fur and fury, heading straight for Ellie. The man noticed the girl. He lifted his arm. Aimed. But Max was faster. The crack of a third gunshot echoed through the neighborhood. Sarah watched in horror as Max leaped in front of Ellie, and then collapsed. No, Max, Ellie shrieked, falling to her knees beside him. Neighbors rushed outside. Someone called the police. Another chased the gunman as he fled through alleyways. Sarah grabbed her daughter and pulled her back toward the house, but Ellie wouldn't let go of Max. He saved me, Mommy. He saved me. Max's chest was rising barely. Blood pooled on the pavement beneath him. His eyes fluttered, looking up at the girl he had just risked everything for. Officer Daniels was the first on the scene. A dog lover himself, his voice cracked as he radioed for emergency veterinary support. We've got a K9 down. I repeat, we've got a hero dog down. What followed was a race against time. A neighbor with a pickup truck offered to drive them to the closest animal hospital. Sarah, Ellie, and Officer Daniels climbed into the back with Max, trying to keep pressure on the wound. Ellie held his paw the entire way. Please don't die, Max, she whispered through tears. Please don't leave me. At the hospital, the vet team was ready. Max was rushed inside, leaving a trail of blood. They took him to surgery immediately. Hours passed. Sarah sat in the waiting room. Ellie curled up beside her, clutching Max's favorite chew toy. Officer Daniels stayed too. No one spoke much. Finally, the vet came out, still in scrubs, his face a mix of exhaustion and cautious hope. He made it through surgery, he said. The bullet missed his heart by less than an inch. He's stable now, but the next 24 hours are critical. Ellie burst into tears again, this time with hope. Can I see him? She asked. Not just yet, the vet replied gently. But he fought hard. He wants to see you too. That night, Sarah and Ellie stayed in the vet clinic's small overnight room. They refused to leave. Max had saved Ellie's life, and they were going to be there to fight for his. At 3:14 a.m., there was a soft knock on the door. The vet entered quietly, a small smile on his face. He's awake. He's looking for you. Ellie didn't wait. She ran down the hallway barefoot, guided by memory. She found Max lying on a metal table, covered in blankets and IVs, his eyes groggy but alive. Hi, Max. It's me, she whispered. His ears perked. His tail wagged once. Ellie leaned down and hugged him gently. Max let out a small whine and nudged his head into her chest. You're my hero, she said. But the fight wasn't over yet. The vet had warned of possible complications, infection, and the trauma Max would carry. His journey to recovery was just beginning. And tomorrow, the man who shot him would be on the news. A shocking truth was about to unfold. The next morning, the small town was no longer quiet. The story of Max, the dog who took a bullet to save a child, had exploded across social media overnight. News vans lined the street outside the animal hospital. Reporters scrambled to get a glimpse of the little girl and her brave protector. Inside the hospital, Max was still weak but breathing steadily. Tubes and monitors surrounded him, but his eyes remained on the door, always looking for Ellie. Sarah tried to shield her daughter from the attention. She knew Ellie was still shaken, clinging to Max's collar like it was a lifeline. Officer Daniels had returned early that morning, holding a folder with the shooter's mugshot. "We got him," he said quietly. "His name's Blake Turner. Armed robbery suspect. Out on parole. Witnesses helped us track him down." Sarah's hands trembled. Why would he shoot at a child? Daniels exhaled. He wasn't aiming at her. She was just in the wrong place. But Max didn't care about that. He only saw danger. And he did what only a hero would do. Ellie was quiet for the rest of the morning. When she finally went into Max's room again, she carried something behind her back. "I made this for you," she whispered, holding up a handmade metal cutout of gold paper. It said, "Max the Brave," in her careful, uneven handwriting. She pinned it gently to his blanket. Max's tail thumped weakly. Meanwhile, news outlets ran headlines. "Hero dog saves child from gunfire. Max the Brave, a town's guardian. Dog takes bullet, survives to tell the tale." Donations poured into the vet hospital. People sent treats, toys, letters, even offers to cover all medical bills. One anonymous donor pledged $50,000 to build a small animal trauma unit in Max's name. But Max wasn't out of danger yet. By the second night, his breathing had grown shallower. A sudden fever had set in, and the vet's expression darkened. "He's fighting sepsis," the vet explained. "His body's exhausted. We're doing everything we can, but he needs strength to hold on." Ellie heard it all. That night, she refused to sleep in the room. Instead, she sat beside Max's table, her hand on his paw, humming the lullaby Sarah used to sing to her when she was afraid. "You're not alone, Max. I'm here. I'll always be here." Somewhere deep inside, Max stirred. His eyes blinked open, locking with Ellie's. He let out a soft, painful breath, but his tail moved. A sign. By morning, his fever began to drop. Slowly, his breathing steadied. The vet smiled for the first time in days. "I don't know what kind of magic that girl has, but she just pulled him back." Word of Max's fight began to inspire people beyond the town. Artists painted murals. A local school started a letter-writing project. Police K-9 units across the country sent messages of solidarity. Then, one afternoon, a letter arrived addressed to Ellie. It came from a prison. Sarah opened it first. Her hands shook. It was from Blake Turner. In messy handwriting, it read, "I didn't mean to hurt anyone. I was scared. I saw the news. That dog, what he did. I'm sorry. I don't expect forgiveness, but I needed you to know, I'm sorry." Sarah didn't know how to feel, but she read it to Ellie. The girl sat quietly, processing every word. Finally, she said, "He still shouldn't have hurt Max. But maybe he needs someone to help him too." Sarah blinked back tears. Her little girl had a bigger heart than most adults. A week later, Max was strong enough to stand. Wobbly at first, but determined. The hospital staff gathered, cheering softly as he took his first steps. Ellie clapped through happy tears. "That's it, Max. You did it." But just as the family thought the worst was behind them, a new challenge emerged. One of the bullets had damaged a nerve. Max's back leg wasn't responding. There was a real chance he might never walk properly again. The vet laid it out honestly. "We'll try rehab, but he may need a brace. Or even a wheelchair." Ellie looked at Max, then at the vet. "Then we'll get him the best wheelchair in the world. He saved me. I'll help him now." Sarah nodded. "Whatever it takes." The story of Max didn't end with that gunshot. In fact, it was just beginning. And now, a surprising invitation would take them somewhere they never imagined. Onto a stage in front of thousands. Someone very important had heard Max's story, and they wanted the world to meet him. 2 weeks after Max first took a bullet to save Ellie, the world finally got to meet its four-legged hero. The invitation had come from Washington, D.C. Max had been nominated for the National Animal Bravery Award, a rare honor given only to animals who had performed extraordinary acts of courage. Along with Ellie and Sarah, he was flown out by a private charity that supported rescue animals. The crowd at the awards ceremony was massive. Reporters, animal lovers, veterans, kids holding signs that read, "We love you, Max," and Ellie's guardian angel. Ellie wore a simple yellow dress. Max had a custom vest that read Service Dog, Hero, with a patch on the side that said Bullet Survivor. When their names were called, Ellie held Max's leash tightly as they walked on stage together. The crowd stood and clapped. Some wiped away tears. The host, a decorated military veteran, leaned down and softly asked Ellie, "What would you like to say about Max?" She looked at Max, then at the microphone. "He's not just a dog. He's my best friend. He gave me my life, and now it's my turn to give him his back." The audience was silent, then erupted in applause. Max wagged his tail proudly. After the ceremony, they were offered help from one of the top animal rehabilitation centers in the country. Specialists worked with Max daily, strengthening his legs, fitting a lightweight support brace, and giving him the therapy he needed to walk again. 3 months later, Max was running. Yes, running, through a local park back home. Not as fast as before, but just as determined. Kids cheered. Ellie chased behind him, both of them laughing, a sound that Sarah hadn't heard so freely in months. News stories had moved on by then, but for Ellie and her small town, Max remained a legend. A local sculptor created a small bronze statue of Max in the park with a plaque that read, "He didn't wear a cape. He didn't need to. Max, protector of innocence." Every year on the same day, the town now celebrates Max Day, a day of kindness, of rescuing animals, and of remembering that bravery doesn't always come in human form. But perhaps the most touching tribute came quietly. A boy named Lucas, who had been wheelchair-bound for years, met Max at one of the awareness events. Seeing Max walk again with a brace gave him hope. "I didn't think I could be brave," he told Ellie. "But now I want to try." Ellie hugged him and smiled. Max makes everyone believe in something again. And he did. Max lived many more years after that day, each one filled with walks, cuddles, adventures, and quiet moments where he'd simply rest his head on Ellie's lap as if to say, "Asterisk, I'm still here. I've got you, asterisk." When he passed peacefully in his sleep at the age of 13, the entire town lit candles at sunset. Ellie, now a teenager, gave a short speech under the statue of her best friend. "He saved me, yes. But more than that, he taught me what it means to love without fear." Max didn't ask to be a hero. He just was. Tears filled many eyes that night, and as the stars came out, a soft breeze rustled the trees. Some swore they heard a bark in the distance, carried by the wind. Max may have been just a dog, but to one little girl, and an entire town, he was so much more. The end.